does anyone else like a little more formality, a little organization when crushing the forces of darkness? Well, that's just what we've got. The fine folks over at the Age of the Ring community Discord are putting together a league for Age of the Ring Season 1 to kick off next month. Pretty cool. The concept is similar to a European football league. There'll be different brackets, and then as people play games in them and we finish up seasons, you'll be able to be promoted to a higher league. I don't think they said they're going to demote anyone, but that would be kind of funny. And then they're going to hand out things like roles and fame and glory in the Discord and various stuff like that. But just a cool way to sort of organize our play of Age of the Ring games into a little more, it's not an ELO system, but it's, a little bit more brackets at least. You can say I'm an intermediate player and you can look for other intermediate players kind of thing. Super cool. I'm really excited about it. They say they expect up to 16 players in advanced bracket, like 32-ish in intermediate and beginner brackets for this first season. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what signups look like and how they organize. It'll run from August 1st to September 1st. And I think the expectation is for, everybody in a bracket to play everybody else in that bracket at least 3 games. So tons and tons of Age of the Ring play coming up. The beginners are going to be clansmen. The intermediates are going to be the Dunedain. That's where I've signed up. I consider myself a talented intermediate. And then the advanced players will be the Numenorians. So I'll be looking to climb up into the ranks of the Numenorians with some solid play, hopefully. I've been feeling good lately. I've been feeling real good about it. Registration, league rules, all this good stuff. This is all available, again, on the Age of the Ring community Discord. You ought to be able to find it on your own, just Googling it. I'm sure you could find it if you've got the game and you look through the various socials and whatnot for it. Tons of good players, tons of cool people. They're extremely helpful. If you're ever thinking about getting into the game, it's a great time to do so. You could pop right into the beginner's bracket, start playing competitive matches right away. It's going to be so cool. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully you are too. It's going to be a ton of really good competitive Age of the Ring content coming up in the next month. Should be tons of fun. And then, of course, because I couldn't just leave you with that today, we also have a cast of 2 pro players playing each other. And I watched this one earlier, and it is a banger of a game. We've got ourselves Old Nosy in red on Mordor up in the top right corner, and in the bottom left is Pool on Rohan in the light purple. Should be a good one. It is a good one. I watched it already. Spoilers. I know what happens. But I saw it. I was actually, I'm trying to improve. So I watch replays of other people when they post them, and I try to see what other people are doing and, adjust my game or knowledge accordingly. And this was when I was watching through and I thought, damn, that's a good game. Dang, that's a good one. Tasty. So we're going to cast this one for you. Rohan, of course, starting off 4 farms, because your farms are your production structures. You switch them over to Peasantry of the Mark, and you can start making your peasants straight out of the farms. It's a really cool, unique mechanic for Rohan. Mordor has their slave mills, which each slave mill up to 5 reduces the cost of trolls and great beasts and things. But usually that's ignored for the most part. You just need the slave mills to make you money, and then you start making your orcs. Your Orcish Stronghold coming up first for Nosy. Oh, no, I'm incorrect. Orcish Stronghold is second. First was the Troll Cage coming up. Should be pretty cool. All right, let's see what a Troll Cage can do. I love a troll opener. I think the Mordor trolls are super good. The mountain trolls, not a cave troll, a mountain troll. The Misty Mountains have cave trolls. The Mordor has mountain trolls. We also have a stables opening for Pool on Rohan out here. Almost said Houseman. Houseman of the Mark. Horseman of the Mark coming on the field very quickly as well. The Rohan farms make their cavalry cheaper, and Rohan can also build windmills, and windmills make their infantry cheaper. So sometimes you see people fill out with farms and then start building windmills afterwards. Okay, horsemen on the field. First troll on the field as well, and straight into pikes. Usually when playing Rohan, you can anticipate some horsemen coming out pretty early, but also on this map you have a very close creep camp, so it makes a lot of sense. Open with pikes, they'll give you protection from horses if they come out, and while you're waiting for the horses to get to you, you can go and creep your warglare, no problem. In come the riders of the Horsemen of the Mark, getting chased by a troll. They do manage, a couple of them get stabbed by the orcs. Old Nosy, of course, is pretty pro on his micromanagement. Pool is as well. Both of these are top tier. These are Numenorian tier players here that we're watching. So we expect nothing but the best of them. I also like in this top corner, Nosey's hiding a slave mill up here. Just a weird spot that is very unlikely to be spotted. So it's one he can expect maybe won't receive a lot of harassment. He does save the lair to get smashed up by the troll for XP, I think, is the plan. He stops attacking it with his spears, he brings the troll in, gives them a third, half of a level or so. Trolls at level 2 are no big deal, but trolls at level 3 get monstrous recovery, which now suddenly lets them heal out of combat. And Mordor doesn't really do any healing, so having a little bit of troll regen can go a long way here. But we got peasants all over the field. There's some horsemen of the mark around the back, another troll on the field here. We got a pitched battle in the center between peasants. The Mordor ground Cracks of Doom goes down, but the peasants can just run out of it. It's not too much. It's more damaging if you stand in it and fight. Up north, we got a stack of spears and 2 regular swords peasants. Troll's doing what he can to sort of zone this stuff out, but the peasants are just running away from the troll. Riders of the Mark coming in here, getting some decent tramples. A couple of spears and swords, or just 2 spears? Yeah, spears and swords are always the raiding force you see. Unfortunately, the Gorgoroth Foundry gets caught up top. Some orcs and a troll make their way down south. They do see this builder. They're going to try and catch him. I think they get him too. They got a nice surround before he gets attacked, and boom, picked up a builder and a farm. That is a very nice pickup. But Foundry goes down up top, a big battle up there. A bunch of orcs get trampled in the middle, courtesy of the horsemen of the Mark. There's a troll down here just staring at the trees. 550 right now for Mordor, 650 for Rohan. Most of those orcs get cleaned up and one lonely troll running deeper into the base. A couple of orcs coming behind him, but as soon as some peasants identify them, they'll be in trouble, or some riders catch them. The Mordor base is in big trouble here too. They're about to lose one of their very close slave mills. Even one of the mills in the back gets taken down. That is no good. 650 Rohan, 450 Mordor. This is a tough matchup, I think. Mordor known for their orc spam. They can make a lot of orcish units very cheaply, very quickly. And Rohan, also known for the a tough trample there. A lot of orcs get run over by some riders. Rohan also actually kind of a spam faction. They can make a crap ton of peasants. When you think that every single farm they have built, 6, 7, 8 production buildings can all just turn and make peasants right away. You can crank out an insane amount of units. And peasants are honestly pretty decent fighters. And in this case, Pool's gone for the draft as well. So when he pops this, all of his peasants on the field get buffed up permanently. It's pretty crazy. He's trying to pick up another slave mill here. This one's going to get cleaned up by the orcs at least. We've got a Nazgul on the field. Nazgul! He's going to have to be real careful because there are still plenty of pikes around. But the Nazgul at least will be able to catch and grind down these riders of the Mark, horsemen of the Mark. Horsemen of the Mark can't trade into a Nazgul around, and a Nazgul ought to like one-shot him once he catches them. But they're very fast, so as long as he keeps riding, he will not catch them. So we'll see. I think this troll did like a loop of the whole map and is making his way back home. But unfortunately, he's going to show off a couple of his more hidden slave mills to the peasant hordes. And we've got yeoman archers on the field as well. That's going to be tricky. But we're getting some very good trampling from the Nazgul. Already level 2. Oh, and those are some elvish swords we're seeing in units. Pool very lucky. Sentinels of the Woody End, strong wrist pikemen, a pretty solid sort of elvish swordsman unit on his end. Over here on Old Nosey's side, it's just ruffians. And ruffians aren't really giving you anything that you can't already get from cheaper orcs, so there's not a big need for them. But here's the elvish swordsmen. These guys actually have a built-in friendly units, and heroes near them are passively healed. A built-in heal from those units. Pretty crazy. Nazgul took some hits, still level 2, needs a little bit of time to regen, but there are peasants in the back, there are peasants in the front, there are peasants all over this place, and some elves now helping him out too. Elves will be fodder for the Nazgul to trample down nicely, and indeed he does it. Cracks of Doom goes down, but again, easily dodged, and the draft drops to give all the peasants and all the units armor and buffs. It's going to be a tough fight for Mordor. Mordor's already well on the back foot here. 500, 900 for Rohan. 200, 450 for Mordor. Pool's peasant legions are just oppressive. And a couple of yeoman archers out here to pick off the orcs as well, help trade into them. I imagine they're going to get run down by a Nazgul almost immediately. Well, that Nazgul trample is no joke. It is only a single entity, so it takes a bit more a bit more work to get the proper trampling done. It's not like a whole battalion of cavalry, but they're very fast and they don't really get slowed down much, so they can sort of endlessly trample through things. It's pretty great. Whew, look at them making short work there. Troll up here, caught a bunch of peasants. Now the good news is the peasants can't do a whole lot against trolls. I think that's the idea of more of the archers and the pikes. Regular peasants actually can do basically nothing against a troll. Gotta be careful. This Nazgul up to level 3, so he has his Screech, but perilously low on hit points here. More Riders of the Mark coming in down south. Slave farm forced to be put up here. Oh my goodness, we've got Olog High on the field. Our troll den is teched straight up to tier 3. I guess that's where all of Old Nosy's money's been going. What can men do against such reckless hate? An armored troll with his club. Oh my god, that was a pike battalion, basically one shot by the Olog High. What can Rohan possibly do against Olog High in the field? We're gonna need some tech up on the Rohan side here. Peasants are not gonna cut it anymore. Back home, we've got stables level 2. There is a level 1 archery range. I don't see a barracks yet, so we don't have any higher tier infantry coming. We'll have to see what we could do. Mordor up to 500. Our Olog High level 2, and he's headed south. He's about to clean up a builder here in case he runs. We'll see. But there's still a lot of pressure up north. Oh my goodness, the orc barracks gets pulled down by these forces of Rohan. And then still more riders coming in. He's got to be very careful here. Even though Olog High are expensive, you can't make a lot of them. One of them is down south. So are there any more coming? Not yet. Just the one on the field. Olog High are okay. Another one queued up there. 1,000 to buy. And there's still the peasants are just kind of all over the place, stabbing spears in the back. We did see the Olog High, though, hit level 2, used his Dominate Troll ability to come dominate the neutral troll and claim that troll gold for themselves. And he's now gonna sweep around the southern part of the map, probably. Pitched battles up top between the Elvish Inn units and Yeoman Spearmen. Rohirrim warriors, the higher tier cavalry, starting to come out and get some tramples in. There are plenty of pikes in this orc force, though, so they should be okay for the moment. But that's not going to stop the riders from just getting in the backfield and tearing up more slave mills here. That's going to be trouble. Rebuilding an orc stronghold. The second Olog High goes south instead of helping with this massive Rohan army in his base. Here's some crazy music going down. I don't know what that was. We do have Slaves of Nirn, so that's one way that he can get a little bit of extra money out. All right, we're seeing some push in from the side. Still, the Cracks of Doom have not been very effective, unfortunately. He's just been able to micro out of it every time. The Orc Stronghold goes up and goes back down again. The Trolls are pushing in down south. Will Nosy be able to hold his base? He does have an Olog High on defense now. The Nazgul's putting in good work. Level 5, doing his absolute damnedest to put this game on his back and trample down as many peasants as possible. The Olog High in defense, though, basically uncontested, can kill anything he runs into. Farms down south getting swept up by this troll invasion. What can Rohan do to stop 3 trolls in the base? Uh-oh. Wraiths on wings, the Fellbeasts come in. I think it's a fortress snipe, folks. 2 Olog High, a neutral troll, and a couple of Wraiths on Fellbeasts. It's a lot of structure damage straight into Pool's fortress here. A couple of orcs along for the ride, but they're not doing anything here. All the work's being done by these trolls. still plenty healthy. And it looks like Pool's fortress is down. He's got 3,700 in the bank. He'll probably be able to remake. This isn't necessarily an existential threat. The wraiths are getting cleaned up by archers. We do have Halafiran Wardens on the field, which are good, strong, sort of tier 2 anti-monster archers. One of the Olog High makes it out and starts booking it. Back at the base, the defensive Olog High is tearing up anything he can get his hands on. Interesting. Well, you know, losing a fortress is a bit of a setback. A bit of a setback, as it were, but he's starting a new one. He hit his 5,000. He was lucky that he had quite a bank he was floating there, and he's able to get the fortress back up quickly. When the fortress is down, you can't use any of your special abilities. They don't start recharging at all, either. Uh-oh. Be careful here, Nazgul. Oh, but he's level 7. I can see that that little mist on him means he's got his relentless pursuit popped, so he's even extra speedy and extra armored. We are at 300 of 975 for Rohan, a really big economy, and we're starting to see the Edoras Kingsguard come out, their top tier spearmen. Over on Mordor, 600 of 950. Old Nosey's managed to sort of rebuild his economy behind that pressure. Very, very nice. We've got a big stack of orcs in the middle. There's one troll pretty beaten, not healing. Another troll level 3 and healed up in the base. Up north, a little bit of pressure, but getting pushed back now because we have Wardens and Kingsguard here, which is a pretty strong force for just 2 units. Old Nosy pushing in down south, but we're starting to see some defenses organized for Pool down there. I don't think these orcs are going to get a whole lot done against this force up top. Nope. Indeed, the Wardens alone are cutting them to bits. There are heroes in here somewhere. Yep, there's Erkenbrand at level 3. Our Nazgul hero, level 8. Absolute boss. Ooh, no pikes in here, unfortunately. Pool able to identify that this was a pikeless force. I guess it's just plain old orcs, but they're just meat for the grinder without something to deal with the cavalry charging through you. And indeed, the Rohirrim warriors are just cycle charging and getting lots of XP, lots of kills there. That's unfortunate. And that gives space for the Rohan army to start pushing forward. Their fortress is back online. A couple Olog High push through the middle. One of them gets some kills and retreats. 2 of them get a lot more kills, but haven't been able to put any pressure on anything else yet. They are starting to smash down some farms. A big orc force pushed up north, cleaned up what was ever up there, but now we've got a lot of stuff in the middle. Boom! Horn of Rohan goes down. That's a nice one. 50% damage, 50% armor. It's a hell of a buff. On top of Kingsguard's gonna make him nigh unkillable. Erkenbrand in there doing his best. Our Nazgul's got like 2% hit points left, but doing his best to charge through as well. He's got to be real careful he doesn't catch a stray arrow at this point. And indeed, he is hiding in the back of the base. Who's this? We've got a level 1 Gorbag on the field. Gorbag is sort of the anti-hero for Mordor. Gets all kinds of fun abilities to kill heroes. Indeed, he's right next to Elfhelm, so he's going to see what he can do about it. He doesn't want to fight Elfhelm plus Kingsguard, though. That is a worse trade. Gorbag can kill heroes very quickly, very effectively later on. He's trading really nicely here, even at level 1. Indeed, Elfhelm's in a bit of trouble because Gorbag's fairly quick too, I think. Yep, he pops his ability, which it gives him extra avoidance and speed, I think. Okay, he's forced to dodge out of the Kingsguard, who finally come back to help out. Not a lot got done in the Rohan base. They're still sitting at 1,000, 450 of 1,000. Back in Mordor, we're at 200 of 1,000. That tech switch to super trolls definitely caught Rohan by surprise here. But now that they've got the Kingsguard on the field, the trolls have to be extremely careful. The Kingsguard are very powerful spear troops, and they will be able to beat Olog High. Though, honestly, I expect Olog High to trade into them okay. Kingsguard are pretty expensive. Where are they at? 700 for an Edoras Kingsguard, and Olog High is 1,000. Okay, we're seeing the split push again. Lots and lots of raiding along the top, raiding along the bottom, smashing up some of these slave mills. Raiding in the middle, on all sides. Mordor forced to take a minute to build and rebuild. Lots of orc warriors, even a tower coming up top. A Tower of Mordor. You don't see a lot of towers built these days. I wonder what kind of upgrade is going on. Mordor towers have a lot that they can do. We got a drummer troll on the field for the first time. That's nice. Drummer trolls offer a great leadership ability. Nazgul identified some easy pickings up top. No spears were sent up here, so he goes to feast. Level 9 with this hero Nazgul. They do clear out a couple of these mills up top, though. 22 points for Mordor. Rohan has opted for the Bountiful Harvest, but is also at 22 points. So Rohan is maybe 10 points ahead, something like that. There's been a lot of structure death so far. That feeds a lot of points in. That Olag High delve a little greedily and get caught out by some of the trample damage. They probably melee plenty well into spears, but you can't have them accidentally trample into the spears, or the revenge damage from the spears will kill them really quickly. A little tough because Nosey's still stuck on tier 1 basic orcs here. Uh-oh. I think we might have another counter base snipe. Out come the Ents. But there's a lot of orcs and trolls in position here. The Ents are already starting to fall. But there's plenty of Kingsguard here too to cause trouble. There's a lot of Kingsguard. 50% on the base. The fires of Orodruin come down. Unfortunately, I believe that does friendly fire damage. Indeed, we can watch all of these orcs die as they run through this. Nosy might have nuked his own base there. He did kill the Kingsguard. He's got that going for him. Level 2 on Gorbag's gonna try and catch somebody. Oh no. Gorbag knifes down Theoden. Level 7 Erkenbrand running from now a level 3 Gorbag, and I don't think he's gonna get away. Gorbag's a little speedy. He's knifing him in the back here. Oh! Well, that'll turn the tides. Erkenbrand has a level 7, a summon of 2 Westfolders, as we can see. Very nice, very nice. Poor Theoden didn't deserve that. All right, so we're -1 fortress for Mordor, and Mordor does not have the bank immediately. They're sitting on 2K. Gonna be a little while to get that back. And honestly, I think maybe he did it to himself. I could be wrong there, but I think maybe that was a little self-inflicted. Halafiran Wardens at level 2, of course, also get the Halafiran Guards, a long-range ability that deals increased damage and causes monsters to flee in terror. So your Wardens are sort of anti-monster units, so they can be pretty good, blast some terror into these Olag High. And they're forced to fall back. One of them is level 3 and he'll heal, the other one is not. He's level 1, he's not healing up, his days are numbered. And the map control is still firmly... These Westfolders are the summoned ones. They're going to time out in a second here, so orcs are not even bothering to engage with them. 560 of 600 for Mordor, 630 of 1,000 for Rohan. Just a huge economic advantage for Rohan. I mean, would have been slightly less huge because they had to rebuild their fortress, but now that Mordor has to rebuild their fortress, it's sort of back to being a pretty huge economic advantage. We do have a big force up here with Erkenbrand and Gamling, I think. Not Gamling. Elfhelm. Erkenbrand and Elfhelm pushing in up top. Just plain orcs, and they're about to get run over by some upgraded Rohirrim. An orc force pushing in along the top. And I think the quality of the Rohan army is just starting to overwhelm Mordor. Mordor has not had an opportunity really to tech up in any other ways outside of their trolls. The fortress is getting rebuilt here. We'll see. We now have Mundaberg steel blades on a lot of these infantry units. We're gonna make them very, very dangerous to anything that they can get their swords and spears into. We get a fear on them from the drummer troll. They're gonna slice through a lot of this stuff. Alright, Olag High basically two-shots the Wardens, but the Westfolders and the Kingsguard make short work of the orcs. There is an orc force up top, however, it looks like they're turning around and coming back home. Strange to go that far out and then come back. I feel like if you spend all that time running, you just go into the enemy's base and hope for the best. But oh, well, maybe that's it, because you were just about to die. GG. Poole took that one with his Rohan. We saw one fortress, that one died, it got rebuilt. The other fortress died, it got rebuilt. There were Olog high on the field. Gorbag stabbed King Theoden to death. It was a great game. That's a fun one. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys liked that one. Just one game for you today. There'll be more coming up tomorrow. But I also wanted to let you know about that league information. That's pretty cool. We're going to see a whole lot more Age of the Ring. If you are an Age of the Ring enthusiast yourself, I encourage you to come in, jump in. The water's fine. It's nice. Come play with us. This is a 100% free game. You just go download it. It's relatively easy to get set up and functional. There's a lot of people playing. There's a lot of beginners starting. So it's great. Come play with us. It's tons of fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.